up, my friends? It's Hannah. I'm back, and this is part 2 of the Quarantine Beauty Academy, if you couldn't tell by the title. Hopefully this is the last part. I'm hoping to get all the questions answered in this, and I'm also hoping that it won't be as shitty as the first part. I'm really sorry, really sorry. This is also the second attempt I tried to fucking film this video. I actually tried to do it 2 days ago on Monday when it was supposed to go up. And halfway through it, I ended up fucking hating everything, including myself. So I deleted all the footage and decided my fate as a shitty YouTuber. Like, I don't know if anyone else has this issue, but if I'm not, like, in the right mood or, like, mindset to do makeup, it turns out like fucking ass. And it was a train wreck. My eyeshadow did not work out. My eyeliner was a mess. I just threw in the towel. That being said, I'm mentally prepared for this video a little bit more today, and hopefully we can get this out the door like it's supposed to. So today's part of Quarantine Beauty Academy is going to be focusing on eyes, including brows, eyeshadow, eyeliner, and mascara. Those are pretty much the rest of the questions that I have to answer, and I'm going to show you guys like a basic eye look on one eye, and I'm going to show you guys how to do a cut crease with a little bit brighter colors on the other side. I had questions about both of those things, so I'm going to start by doing my base makeup. Like, we just chit chat for a minute, you know? So my face is clean and ready to go. And first and foremost, I just want to say I'm super fucking sorry for how boring the first part of this was. I don't know if it's because I watched it 37 times, like while editing it, but I literally could not watch it anymore. I'm sorry, it was just me talking for 22 minutes. Hopefully this one's a little bit more lively. It was my first video, you know? Give me a fucking break. Damn. And you might be saying, Hannah, that's not your skin color. And to that, I will say, mind your own fucking business. And let me blend it out, alright? Alright, that shit's all done. I'm gonna go with my concealer. I'm using the Cocky? I don't fucking know what the hell that is. Be Bright concealer. It actually came in my Ipsy. And shit fucking rules, bro. Like, let me fucking show you this shit in a second. Hold on. Another thing I want to address is I am so sorry to my family members who may be watching this and are appalled by my language. I'm very sorry that my real personality is garbage. I also have a huge pimple on my cheek, so if you notice that, it costs nothing to not point that out and make me hate myself. Okay, I did the rest off camera because no one fucking cares. Alright, first things first, brows, baby. So I am not a professional at brows. That's like one of my weaker qualities that I have, but you always start, take a little spoolie. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think it's like a number 12 or 18. Dual-ended brush. This is literally like 5 years old. It has nothing on it anymore. Otherwise, I'd tell you the number. You're just going to take your little spoolie, or you can use like a clean like mascara wand, whatever you have, girl, and brush that shit out. Put that shit back in its place. Make sure everyone is seated in the proper chair for attendance. All right, once everyone's seated, you're going to take a little bit of whatever brow product you're using. I use the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Taupe. If you're using a pencil, it's the same like guidelines. Obviously, you don't use a brush though. So you're going to take that, and you're just going to do a line, kind of outlining your natural brow bone. I always start at the bottom and shoot that shit up. I kind of go at a slant, but not too much, and then blend it out. This is the most important part. Blend it out. So once you got that line going, you can kind of start the tail. I don't like to have mine going straight down since like 7th grade. Mine kind of goes like out and down at the same time, if you can tell. I did used to kind of make it go real, but it wasn't for me. If that's what you like though, girl, and that's what fits your face, do it. It's all about finding what looks right for you. Frankly, the Nike swoosh was not it for me. Then again, how do I know? Maybe that was a look for me, and maybe this isn't the look for me. Do what your heart desires. Okay, so after those 2 lines are done, I like to knock those bitches out of place, even though we just spent 20 minutes doing that, and brush them down. I know it looks weird, but it helps like follow the natural shape of your brow. So brush them all down, and then take some of your dip brow or pencil, whatever, and do another line on top, starting at like kind of the middle mark. I don't advise starting at the front because it makes that weird like square shape, but if that's what you're into, you can start at the beginning, and then you take it and go out. I don't recommend doing it in like full like lines. Like I do like little itty bitty chunks at a time. It just helps like make it less harsh and make it look a little bit more natural if that's what you're going for. Okay, so after that you can brush your brows back into place. I already did that. And then take your dip brow, pencil, whatever, and just continue outlining that line, kind of connecting with the tail you made on the bottom. It's okay if it's smudgy or anything. We're going to fix that in just a minute, and I'll show you how. Okay, so once you have your desired color and the shape, they might look a little fucking wonky at this point, but we're going to fix her with some concealer. So all you do is take whatever concealer you want. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. It's just a little bit thicker. Scoop some out on your hand, and then you're going to need like a small, like flathead brush. I'm using a Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH43. I use this every day on my brows. Or just like a really teeny tiny detailing brush. And you're going to take your concealer just a tiny bit, and you can start carving out your brows. So you can go underneath and clean up any sort of smudges or fuck ups. And the beauty of it is you can just like blend it down onto your eyelid as a base for your eyeshadow. Life hack. Okay, and that is what they look like when they're all done and cleaned up. You know they say brows are sisters and not twins, so it is okay if they don't look identical. Mine are usually like passive-aggressive neighbors. But it's okay, you know why? Because I think they look fucking fine. Okay, so now we're moving on to the fun part, which is eyeshadow. That's my favorite part of my makeup routine. I think it's just a really good way to be really creative, and there's not rules to it. So you can wear whatever fucking color you want, whatever shape you want, whatever liner you want, whatever. So like I said in the beginning, I'm going to do one eye as like a natural look, and I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette for that. This is my all-time favorite, like everyday eyeshadow palette. It's $42, but I highly, highly recommend it if you're looking for just a really cute, like, neutrals palette. It has a couple shimmers and a lot of mattes. It's really, really nice, and you can do millions of looks with this. Another palette that I recommend if you want a really nice neutrals is a Morphe 350 Nature Glow palette. It's got, I think, like 36 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 21. 35, sorry, CEO of fucking calculus. And these retail for like $25. Morphe has a million of these palettes, and they're super, super pretty, and I highly recommend. And then on the other eye, I'm going to do a little bit brighter colors, and I'm going to show you guys how to do a cut crease. I'm going to do a winged cut crease. It's just the classic one that I always do. And for that, I'm going to be using the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. This was like $15 on Ulta, and it has every fucking color you could ever imagine. And they're really nice. They blend really well. I'm also going to be using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Conspiracy palette. You know I was going to use Jeffree. I fucking live for him. And the Blue Blood palette. Personally, not just because I'm a Jeffree stan. His eyeshadow formula is like unmatched to me. Like I don't think anyone else performs as well as he does. They are pricey. His palettes are like $50, but they're really good. Another one that I can recommend for like rainbow colors is the Morphe X James Charles palette. Mine's used. And once again, it just has a bunch of colors, and it has neutral colors too. Okay, so like I said, while I was cutting out my brows, I already have a base of concealer on my eyelid. It just makes it like one even color, and it makes your eyeshadow all look consistent. And I'm going to go in with the shade Orange Soda as a transition shade. A transition shade just makes everything kind of blend very seamlessly, and it just gives a base color for it all to blend into. And I had a lot of questions about blending eyeshadows and like how to do it and stuff, and I think one thing that I noticed that some people do that can kind of ruin the whole effort of the whole thing is getting way too much eyeshadow too fast. I see a lot of people wanting to like swirl around in the pan and then just go straight to the eye, and it becomes really, really hard to blend. I recommend, depending on how powdery and pigmented your shadows are, if you literally just tap. And I already have some on my brush, and you can go until your desired amount. Always start with a little tiny bit. You can always add more later. So you have your little amount, and then if you just do a little tap off the brush, did you see all that shit that just came off of there? And then you just go for it. You start blending it all out on your lid. Make sure that transition shade really gets everywhere so that it can help you blend other colors on top of it later. One thing I recommend to make your blending a little bit easier is hold your brush a little bit more towards the end instead of up here. It'll make it less harsh and be very light-handed with it, and do like really small like circular motions. Really take your time with it. Blending takes a while. It's not something you can do in like 2 minutes. Also, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills double-ended brush that comes with like all of these palettes, and it's actually bomb as hell. So you get a brush with the palette too, so it's a great investment. Okay, and with my natural everyday look, I don't really like to fully smoke it out or go like up to the brow bone and really go crazy. I like to keep it more rounded and really kind of just in this inner area. So after that, I'm gonna go in with a little bit darker of a shade called Burnt Orange, and I'm gonna use the same little brush and just blend that out all over my crease. And once again, just circular motions, take your time. I also am a fan of like the windshield wiper motion where you go back and forth. Okay, so after that's all blended out, I'm gonna go in with a Morphe M330 brush, which is just a little bit narrower of a fluffy brush to give me more control of where I wanna put my outer corner color, which I'm gonna go in with a little bit darker sienna, and I'm just gonna leave that in the corner and just blend it in. Just take a tiny bit, kind of tap it into the corner and where you want it in your crease to darken that up, and then do the circular motions and start blending her out. Same process. Okay, and then once you got that color to where you want it, I'm gonna do one more color and do the color Cypress Umber, which is like a darker brown. I'm gonna take the same brush. We're only using 2 brushes in this. Take a little bit, tap her off, and then just really focus it in the inner corner where else I want more definition. Okay, so then once it's at like that desired darkness, you just kind of keep blending her out. I'm gonna go in with the same Anastasia brush again and just make sure everything is getting along together, you know, making friends. Okay, so once you got all the shadows on there, I'm gonna go ahead and take the other side of the same Anastasia brush, and I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a shimmer shade of the shade Glistening. This is like a champagne-y metallic. Tap her off a little bit. And then just put her on any bare spots on the lid. And then blend her out. Another beauty tool that I think every person that does makeup should have is a color switch. This was literally $1 at Dollar Tree, and it's a fucking lifesaver. You take your dirty brush, if you don't have time to wash it before you need to do it, just swirl it around. And I'm not fucking shitting you. All of it just falls to the bottom and you have a clean brush. Make sure you do make it a point to wash your brushes pretty regularly though, because there can be some nasty shit in there. Okay, so we've got that champagne-y color on there. And another trick is if you want this a little bit more sparkly, or if it's not intense enough for you, if you dip your color into the same shimmer shade and take some of your setting spray and just wave it around it, you don't want to drench it, and then apply it to the lid, it kind of adds a little bit extra something to it, you know? Blend that shit out, of course, and then that's all I do for eyeshadow. Literally like 4 colors and 2 brushes. It's super simple. Other colors that I would recommend go with that kind of look would be the shade Mulberry, this like burnt red sort of color, or Dusty Rose, like this mauve-y color. Pretty much this whole palette can go together in one neutral look. And now eyeliner. So I've been doing makeup for almost 10 years. And eyeliner is still something that I struggle with sometimes. Once again, like if I'm not in the right mind space for it, it can go south really fast. But the eyeliner that I do use is Stila Stay All Day eyeliner pen. It's a felt tip, and I like how like precise it is. It's pretty long, but I'm gonna try to show you how to do a solid wing. Pray this goes well. Do not ever get scared to do eyeliner that can smell fear. All right, I'm gonna bring y'all right in close and personal. So I start with a bottom line, which is where I draw the actual wing and kind of make a dot of where I want it to be, and then connect it. Okay, so that can be your bottom line. Do not fucking panic. That is that thick. We're gonna fix her. Okay, and then you start kind of like 3/4 of the way through and connect it to your actual eyeball. Oh, all right, we're gonna roll with it. There's no fucking way in hell I'm wiping this off. You know what? We're gonna have a little thicker eyeliner today. I have some big eyes, so it's fine. Just fucking go with it. Like I said, don't ever get scared. Okay, she's thick, but like the shape isn't bad, so don't fucking roast me. Okay, so then you kind of just take your pen and continue to like drag that out until you have the desired like point. And that's where I'm gonna leave that. Okay, not awful. The shape is not bad. The thickness is fucking insane. I'm gonna wipe her off in a hot second, but she's done. And that is my eye look. Imagine it like a little bit skinnier. That's my whole fucking life. In all seriousness, the technique is the same, and that's how you accomplish winged eyeliner. It does take a lot of practice though, and a lot of patience. All right, and that's the finished product. I threw in a little bit mascara. You can't really see it over the eyeliner. I don't typically wear lashes on a daily basis. I usually do those for like more artistic looks. So now we're gonna move on to the colorful cut crease in the other eye. Okay, to start for cut creases, I do use tape to go along here to keep everything really snatched and sharp. I don't recommend using tape. It's really not good for your skin. I usually don't use it unless I'm doing like a super winged out, like smoked cut crease like this look. Definitely not something you want to be doing as a habit, because in the long run it can do some damage to your skin. So I take a piece about this much and I kind of just like tone down the stickiness a little bit so it's not as bad for my skin. Just kind of mess with it for a minute and then stick it on. Okay, and I usually put it about there so it's not going directly into the tail of my brow, but a little bit outwards, and you can smoke it out when you're done. Okay, and I'm not gonna go super crazy like some of my other looks, but I am gonna do like a pink cut crease with like a pink shimmer lid. And I'm gonna start with this kind of blushy pink color as a transition shade from the James Charles palette, and I am going to use the color Skip. I don't know the rest of the color names. And I'm using the exact same Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. Like I said, the color switch is a fucking genius idea. Okay, and then you take that blushy pink shade and kind of bring it higher on the brow bone. It's really important that your cut creases, depending on your eye shape, go high enough to where it's higher than your crease, because obviously you're going to cut that out and you kind of want the color to still show up. So put that blushy pink. Mine is actually going directly on my brow bone. I can feel it, but it honestly depends on your eye shape. Okay, so it's a very faint color, but after that is all blended out, I'm going to go in with the shade Skip and do the same thing. I'm going to take the color, start out and work your way up on the brow bone. Make sure it's blended out. You don't want it super harsh. And my cut creases typically tend to go almost all the way up to the brow, which is fine. Just make sure it's like blended along the edges. And if things start to get a little too harsh or crazy, you can go in with that same like blushy pink color and just like tone it down a little bit on the edges. Okay, and it's gonna look a little weird and crazy, but it's fine. And don't really worry what your eyelid looks like, because you're gonna wipe it away anyways. Just really focus on the upper portion above your crease. And once that is to your desired color, you can go ahead and cut that shit. But before I cut it, I'm going to take another big fluffy brush. I don't know what brand this is. It's got a B on it. And you take like a skin color, like a white eyeshadow, and just kind of tone down the edges. Make sure everything is just blended together really evenly. Okay, and once everything is ready to go, you can take your tape off. Like, see how sharp the tape makes it? And then I'm gonna go ahead and make this a little less harsh and like smoke it out a little bit past the tail of my brow. Kind of like that. It's gonna look really weird, just trust the process. And when you're ready to cut it, I recommend getting a super, super teeny tiny brush like this. And personally, the hardest part about cut creases is finding the right brush to use. It's a lot of trial and error. I could not figure out cut creases for like 2 years because I was using the wrong brush, and I finally figured it out one day. I use the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH42 brush. It's a super, super tiny brush. And you're going to take your concealer, or you can do a makeup wipe and wipe off the lid in the shape of the cut crease. I just find this a lot easier. And you're going to start cutting it out. Okay, and one of the easiest ways to kind of map out where your cut crease should go is put a tiny dot in the center of your eyelid and roll your eyes back until it sticks to the top of your lid, and then base the line around that. So you just take a tiny bit at a time, and I'm really sorry if I'm trying not to cover it, but my mirror is over here. And start making a shape like that. Like, just kind of, you want it to go this way and you want it to wing out this way. So you kind of want it to connect nice and rounded to your inner corner. This is a very rough outline, and then I'll show you how to kind of make the shape to wing it out. That's like a pretty good outline of where I want my cut crease to go. You could always like add a little bit bigger of a dip right there depending on what you want your cut crease to look like. Okay, so that's pretty much the shape of my cut creases. I like the more like dramatic, more oval shape. Entirely your choice. The technique is still the same, whatever shape you want to do it. And I'm gonna add the lid color and some eyeliner, and then we can clean up this area. And for my lid shape today, I'm going to use the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette. This is also a bomb-ass palette. I'm going to use the shade Wet Jewel, Take the Crown, and Beauty Sleep. Guess what motherfucking brush we're going to use? Miss Anastasia. I genuinely don't believe in owning 17,000 brushes. I mean, I do anyways, but I don't use them all in one look. I can get by with like 3 brushes max. Okay, and then you just take your lid color. This is a pink like shimmer. It's super pretty. Hello? Okay, Miss Jeffree Lynn. And then you just kind of follow the shape of your cut crease. Don't worry if it gets like sloppy over here because you're going to put eyeliner on, and cover it up anyways. Just make sure you get as close as possible to the line where you cut it. Now, cut creases are cool because you can do literally any color combination. Like, I typically like to do a matte and then a shimmer, or you can do 2 mattes, you can do a rainbow, you can do whatever you fucking want to do. Honestly, who's to stop you? Not me. Okay, I also went ahead and did that purple shimmer Take the Crown shade just to put on top of Wet Jewel. It didn't really make a difference, but it's just a shimmery purple. And you do that until it's your desired sparkliness. I also added this shade Ranch from the Conspiracy palette on my inner corner. Okay, and after that, I just added some normal size eyeliner and a lash. Also not the CEO of fake lashes, so don't take advice from me. And that's it. That's usually how I do my cut creases, and it's usually pretty dramatic looking, which is what I like. Okay, so then to recap, this is like a natural everyday eyeshadow look that I usually do with very fucking thick eyeliner. And this is like a more dramatic cut crease with brighter colors and a lash that is falling off my eye, but we're gonna mind our own fucking business, okay? I hope I was able to answer everyone's questions regarding eyes, brows, eyeliner, mascara, the whole 9 yards. If not, feel free to always DM me and ask any further questions. I'd be happy to help. This wasn't really supposed to be a tutorial, but I didn't really know of another way to actually show you what I'm talking about without doing it. If you guys like this, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, like my beauty page, the whole shebang, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces. Oh, fuck.